Hi everybody, it's Dan and welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're going to be making a Disney-inspired stained glass window cake. And I'm going to be teaming up with Mark from Epic Confections, Rosie from Rosie's Dessert Spot, and Lorelei with Cakes from Lorelei. I'll be sure to throw all those links down below in the description so you can check them out and see what awesome cakes they came up with also. Plus, if you're new in my kitchen, don't forget to click subscribe and turn notifications so you don't miss out every time I post a new video. And if you're interested in how to make your own stained glass window cake, I'll be sure to throw that link down below in the description also, where I'll throw all my tips, tricks, and lessons learned. Plus, stay tuned at the end of the video for more information about the KitchenAid stand mixer giveaway. Now for our Disney-inspired stained glass window, we're going to be using an edible marker and we're going to outline where we're going to pipe. Because like I said, royal icing and I, we don't work out so well, especially when it comes to piping. And to make sure I can focus all just on the piping and the filling and just getting this design perfect, super perfect. I've already went ahead and baked, filled, stacked my cakes, covered them with fondant, but I'll be sure to throw all those steps and those directions as well in the recipe in that link description down below. So let's take our edible marker and we're going to begin to outline our pattern. So I think first we'll start with an outer circle. Try to make it as circly as possible. I know me, I have a hard time making a perfect circle, but that's all right. We're going to be piping, so if it's not 100% perfect, don't worry about that. We'll be able to cover it up with our royal icing. And then we just want to begin to work on our rose. I mean, when you think of Beauty and the Beast, of course you think of a red rose. And we want to keep it simple. So, just let your creativity really just shine here. And what I love about these edible markers is that if you make a little oopsie mistake and you're not pressing too hard, you can always go ahead, take a damp paper towel and just give a little smudge away and it's perfectly new. It's like a little eraser. So now that we have our stem and our leaves, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna work on our rose. Same thing here, we're just gonna lightly etch this out with our marker and really just try to capture that nice, gorgeous rose shape. Now inside of that, we wanna go ahead and we wanna do a smaller circle. Now that we have our rose from Beauty and the Beast all lightly lined out on our fondant, we can go ahead and we're going to take our royal icing and we're going to begin to just gently pipe this along the outlines of our stained glass template. Now, because I am using the royal icing to outline our stained glass window, I did go for a stiffer consistency, but again, I'll be sure to share all those tips, all those tricks, all those different consistencies that you might think about using in that recipe down below in the description. But the stiff icing, as the name implies, this is the thickest, stiffest consistency of icing you'll use when decorating cakes or cookies. I tend to like this more because I find that it holds a really stiff peak and has a nice spreadable frosting-like consistency, which is great, especially when you want to pipe something as delicate as flowers or names or a stained glass window template. And for my tip on my piping bag, I'm just using a number 2, which is great for outlining and filling in. And to share my ultimate go-to favorite tip, especially when it comes to piping with royal icing, is be sure to practice piping on your work surface or a piece of parchment paper before you begin your cake. This way your hand gets a feel for it. For me, I definitely feel like I need a good few minutes of playing around with my royal icing before my piping definitely improves. And when you're outlining your cake and your stained glass window, be sure to begin lifting the piping bag away from the cake about 1 centimeter in so that the icing just falls onto the surface. Trust me, you'll be able to control your piping a lot easier this way. And if your hand gets shaky, like mine does sometimes, definitely go ahead and rest your arm on the edge of your work surface while decorating. I like this because it definitely helps my hand stay nice and steady when I'm piping these super thin royal icing lines. Now that we finally have our royal icing outlined on our cake, which I think it doesn't look a little too bad. Usually with air bubbles like this that you see right now on my cake, which is embarrassing, I like to pop them with little toothpicks, but I'm actually all out. And for some reason they're hard to find here. So I don't know why, but you know what? I'm gonna work with it. We're gonna do it because this cake is gonna be delicious and look cute either way. But to go ahead and get started on our filling, I'm going to be using piping gel. If you want to stick with royal icing, you can go ahead and use royal icing. Just go ahead and color it on the colors that you need to fill in your stained glass window. Piping gel though, I find the best because you can buy it. You don't have to make it. So we're going to start with our green piping gel, and we're going to begin to fill in the outline of our rose stem and our leaves. And as you're piping with your piping gel, be sure to go back in, maybe even with a cake tester, and really just scoot that piping gel into all the tiny little corners of the outline inside your stained glass, which you're filling in with color. You also want to make sure not to overfill, because if you do overfill with your piping gel or your royal icing, there is a chance it is going to spill over on top of your cake, and you'll just have to maybe start all over again, unless you can clear it off. I always have a hard time with that. Now that we have our green stem and our green leaves, we can go ahead and we can start filling in our rose with some red piping gel. So same thing here, we just want to go ahead and we just want to lightly pipe it inside the lines, making sure not to fill it too much so it doesn't spill over on top of our cake. And again, go back in with a cake tester or a toothpick if you have one, and just scoot the red piping gel into all the tiny little corners of your rose. After you have your rose stem and your rose leaves and your rose bud all filled in with the piping gel, you want to go ahead and go back in with your royal icing, and we want to start just piping on some simple lines. Really give the top of this cake that nice, perfect stained glass window look. And of course, naturally, if you want to go in and you want to keep coloring your stained glass window cake, you can go ahead and use all these little spaces that you're piping out with your royal icing and fill those in with a nice yellow, a nice blue, to kind of give it that, like sunshine is just shining right in on your stained glass window. And after you're done piping with your royal icing and filling in your stained glass window with your piping gels, you have just a really simple, easy to make stained glass window cake. Plus, if you're doing the Beauty and the Beast rose, it's Disney inspired, it's cake. Who doesn't love Disney? Who doesn't love cake? Is it perfect? No. Am I happy with it? Definitely yes. I'm surprised with my piping skills. I think they're getting better. Maybe we'll revisit this down the road, but I think we're definitely going to be revisiting piping with royal icing in another video. If you want royal icing cookies, or maybe you want to see more raw icing on cake, let me know in the comments and I'll work on my skills and get it better. Well, thank you all for stopping by today. I had so much fun showing you all how to make a stained glass window cake. You know, it's simple, it's easy, it's practical. Like I said, it's Disney, it's cake. You can never go wrong with either or. But if you're a fan of trying new cake decorating techniques and you want to see more, definitely let me know in the comments and give this video a thumbs up. Helps me out, lets me know I'm baking up recipes you all like, you enjoy, and you want to see more of. And of course, if you want weekly new delicious recipe ideas, be sure to click subscribe and turn notifications so you don't miss out every time I post a new video. Like some delicious autumn-inspired dessert recipes I've got coming up in the kitchen that I cannot wait to share with all of you. Plus, I still have 20 KitchenAid mixer to give away. So if you haven't already, be sure to enter them down below with the link. Once you're in the giveaway, you'll have 20 chances to win and lots of ways to enter. Lastly, don't forget, if you try and make your own stained glass window cake, definitely give a tag on Instagram. You know, let me see what you're baking up in your kitchen. Alrighty, well, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna grab a cup of coffee, enjoy the day, enjoy the weather, maybe take a nap because this cake kicked my butt. But I hope you're all having a fantastic week. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video very, very soon. Bye.